The actions of Trump to try and cut off Huawei's parts suppliers have instead bad effects on various suppliers to Huawei. Taiwan companies have already suffered. 1. TSMC Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation announced they're going to open a factory in the US in a $12 billion investment. Taiwan media reported that this was at first a project by TSMC owners to appease Trump so that they could continue to have Huawei as their biggest customer. All the non-Huawei foundry clients of TSMC in the West total 60% versus 40% in China. But right after they announced the investment in US, Trump issued the order for them to stop trading with Huawei. Pundits are now waiting for the next shoes to drop. It is a question of what Trump will have to compensate TSMC in real dollars for the loss of Huawei, their biggest customer. Meanwhile, Samsung has gone to China's Shaanxi, city of Xi'an area, to roll out their project to expansion of $8 billion in upgrading to manufacturing as a foundry to compete in the 5nm level IC service. With this being in China, Trump would have a hard time telling Samsung not to work with Huawei. Samsung's retail market is precious to them. The chips foundry business is a massive attempt by Samsung to diversify their sources of sales in a technology area they have a lot of strength in, and China is the giant market they want. You may think Samsung's $8 billion is 50% less than the $12 billion of TSMC in US. You would be wrong, as $8 billion in China gets a lot more manufacturing capabilities than $12 billion in USA. Even in Taiwan, opinions have condemned TSMC executives for acting to try and destroy Huawei on orders from Trump. Rumors have come out that TSMC executives have arranged to shift part of their production for other clients such as Broadcom, Qualcomm etc. into production for Huawei, based on existing orders in numbers that will give Huawei enough chips to act as a strategic reserve for several years, so that will give Huawei time to ramp up production from other supply chain developments. This will buy time so that by the time the strategic stockpile runs out, Huawei will not be in any way inconvenienced. TSMC's main brains are people who studied in US and came back to Taiwan to create their own company. 2. Novatech Microelectronics Corporation. They are a company doing contract manufacturing and design of IC and screen display parts for Huawei as a top customer. They have now seen reduction of orders from Huawei as Huawei ramps up their self-sufficiency away from Taiwan and other countries that may be targeted by Trump. 3. Win Semiconductors, a pioneer in GaAs MIC, in power amplifier PA chips, in wireless parts, in RFIC, fiber to the home, data center, 5G infrastructure, augmented mixed reality, automotive optoelectronics and 3D sensing etc. They are suffering from Huawei reducing orders to them. 4. Largan Precision Company Limited, in optoelectronics, supplier of cell phone camera systems, suffers from reduced Huawei orders. Huawei has alternatives in mainland China in camera modules and lens technology. 5. Foxconn, Honghai Group. This is the world's biggest ODM, original design equipment manufacturer. They are the ones mainly manufacturing for Apple as well as numerous other mainline Western brands. Foxconn established in Shenzhen about the same time as Huawei and has done contract work for Huawei as well. Now, in terms of foundry work, Foxconn has not gone into it, even thought they do have the technology to do it, because they have allowed TSMC, a fellow Taiwan company, to specialize in their niche. Given TSMC choosing to knuckle on Trump's pressure, Foxconn is freed up, or forced to consider the foundry supply chain dangers this will entail for Foxconn. Therefore, rumors has it that Foxconn will ramp up their capacity to do foundry work for their clients including Huawei. Foxconn has tremendous technology capabilities that is not generally known. The iPhone would not be available to Apple as not for Foxconn. Even now, the wireless connector earphones marketed by Apple is actually the exclusive capability of Foxconn. It is not just IP. Foxconn has a culture from the personal excellence philosophy of the founder-owner Terriga, Pinyin Guotaming, to achieve 49S. That means to accomplish not just 90% of stated quality, performance, or goal, but 99.99%. That is why Apple cannot find another ODM to partner with, because Apple are not the people who actually design or manufacture anything. That is why Apple cannot find another ODM to partner with, because Apple are not the people who actually design or manufacture anything. China, not USA, has been the dominant power player in the CTI industries ever since 2000. 2 decades of organic building up means numerous crooks and crannies of the supply chains that feed into these sub-industries and subsectors that no aggressive decrees by Trump can reverse. His unilateral actions can only hurting many companies that are not China companies but to companies in USA, EU, ASEAN, Taiwan, Korea, Japan. Global supply chains mean just that, spread throughout the world, with the hub being in China. It cannot be done with massive funding of companies to encourage them to move back to the US either. Money, however much you are willing to spend, will not overturn global supply chain realities.